class. We are working on some curly-haired mannequin here. This side of the mannequin, we live in a day and time where it's so simple to smooth hair. You can smooth it chemically, and this hair has had a smoothing treatment, and it's chemically smoothed. Now, when I turn it to the back, you can see that this has only been done with a flat iron. Now, what I'm going to demonstrate to you today is using the pressing comb, and this is done with the pressing comb. This is actually a little smoother and a little shinier than the flat iron, but actually, ideally, you'd probably want to use a smoothing treatment because it takes all the snarls and the frizzes out. But we're not into the chemical treatment. You'll probably do that in the fall semester. So I'm not going to show you how to do that, but I did want you to know the difference, because when you look at the front, you can see that this is so much smoother than what we've done this with the pressing comb. But the pressing comb is a good substitute if you don't want it permanently smooth. Because a lot of people say, well, I want my natural curl, but I want it to look like that part of the time. And if that's the case, then you either want to use the flat iron, which I used on the back, and y'all know how to do that, or you want to use the pressing comb. Now, I want to turn your attention over here to the products, and I want you to get close here, because I'm using Mizani mostly. This is Deep Shine, and it's an oil, and it's by Rusk. And when you're doing natural curly hair with this superb heat like this, supreme heat, you need to be sure and use a lot of products. So first I'm putting the Deep Shine oil on, and then I'm putting, it's called Sleek, and it makes it slick and sleek. But as I continue to use the pressing comb, it gets a little dry. So I come back with Miracle Milk and or some of the Silk Mizani. And those products are excellent products. We use all these at school except for the Rusk oil. I just happen to like the Rusk oil, and so I threw that in there. Now, I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to let you see. I went ahead and did most of this head because it does take a long time to do this. And so I went ahead and did most of this head ahead of time, because you don't want to watch this process too many times because it takes a long time. You only want to take a small piece, and then you want to take a large tooth comb and comb as much of the frizz as you can out of it. Then I'm going to take some of the Deep Shine oil, just a tiniest bit in here, and I'm going to put it on here. All right, then I'm going to come back with a little bit of the Sleek, and you do this each piece before you put the hot comb in there. I'm using the electric pressing comb. This is a tool that can be used in a stove, and I'm going to show you a stove later. I'll show you the pressing comb that goes in the stove, and I'll show you the Marcel irons that go in the stove, and we're going to do that too. But I wanted to demonstrate the pressing comb first. So you see the small section we've taken, we've treated it with the products. Now I want to be sure that this is not too hot. So I'm going to take the pressing comb, I'm going to lay it on an end paper. If it doesn't turn the end paper brown, and it did not, as you see, then it's not too hot to put in the hair. Then I am going to start at the end, and I am going to work my way up. And you have to use a comb to hold it because it's very hot. This one is turned up to 500 degrees. And then you come in here and you do this. Comb it down, take the back of the iron, smooth it, comb it down, take the back of the iron, smooth it. Remember, you're close to someone's face here. You want to hold it out. And then you take the large tooth end of the comb and comb it down. And then if you still have a little bit of curl in there, hold it with some tension, comb it down. You're pressing it when you're doing this. You're combing it when you're doing this. And it continues to straighten the hair. You see why I said it's a long process. It's a little warmer than using a flat iron. A flat iron is, most of them only go up to 425, 450. This is 500 degrees. Now I can use a comb just like this that is not electrical and put it in the stove and get it up to about 600 degrees. But for a mannequin, I don't want it that hot. You might need it that hot on a person sometime, but most likely not. That's very, very hot. But the main thing is to test it on something. I'm taking another very small section. I'm going to take it all the way across this time. You can use a larger comb and get through it a little easier if you want. Notice I'm combing the tangles out, some of the curl out. I'm going to put product on it, a little bit of oil on it. It's nice sometimes just to cocktail it, and then you don't have to put it on twice. This is a larger piece than a while ago. You notice that you can see the product on the hair. This hair is very dry. There's nothing coming from the scalp to moisturize it. I want to be sure that I get enough on there that I don't burn it. I'm testing it on the paper, and now I'm coming back. I'm going to comb through the end. That smoking you see is the product. It's not the hair burning. But it will just get it off of there. I'm pressing it, combing it. A lot of times if I'm at school, I'll wear a thermal glove because I'm real bad to reach and get that hair. But when I brought all this stuff home, I forgot to bring a thermal glove. So I'm being very careful not to touch anything. I want to get this a little closer to the face. So I'm going to press it, but I've got it away from the face. Same principle as the flat iron. You're just doing it straight. I almost got myself then. I was afraid I was going to. I'm going to take about half of this. You never want to get over about a half an inch of hair, even a quarter. I'm not going to take a half. I'm going to take about a third. A half is too much. The thinner the hair, the quicker that it straightens, and you don't have to keep going back through it. I want to do it once, lay it down, and forget it, and have most of it straight as I'll have it. Large tooth comb, then come back with the large end of a regular comb. Then I'm ready to start with the heated comb. I'm testing it, and then I'm coming back. See the smoking? That's the product. It's not the hair. Remember, we tested it. It's not that hot. I'm combing it through gently, gently. Remember, you're working close to their face. You don't want to burn them. Now I'm going to press it. I'm going to comb it through with the other end of the comb, the fine tooth comb, to get it all together. See, it makes it nice and smooth. We got a little bit of a wave here, so I'm going to come back When it's this thick, you can lay it like this. Just let it glide over the top. Barely touch it. And you see the more you do it, how it shines. That means you've gotten down past that dry top layer, getting into the cortex where there's a little bit of oil in there. See how it's laying down and shining. I'm going to take half of this time. You work better with natural curly hair if you use a large tooth comb. I want to get some of this tangle out. You always start at the end and go up. I don't start here, because if I do, I'm going to get about here and then yank it all out. I don't want to pull any of this hair out. I want to use it. Now I'm going to cocktail my product. Got too much, just put it on that next piece. It's going to need it too. Going to pick that up with it because it needs a little more. All right, going to check my iron. When you'll see this paper turn brown occasionally, it's when you're using the stove and you can't gauge the heat. If it does turn the paper brown, you'll want to go back and take it out of the oven and lay it down for just a second and let it cool. But this is an electric pressing comb, and it has a temperature gauge on it. I did move it up all the way to 500 because if you don't, these electric ones will not get hot enough. Notice that smoking, that's not the hair burning, that's product on the hair. I'm going to comb through it. Putting some tension on the hair to press it. See how it's shining? That's how you know it's getting there. Then take a fine tooth comb, comb back through it. It's a good conductor of the heat. It helps it to just move through smoothly. And we're going to take our last piece. It's important that we get plenty of product on this. We'll get with this too. And I'm going to make this come just a little bit forward. This doll needs a little bit of a haircut. Some different lengths there. The time to cut it, if you want to trim it, is when it is flat ironed or when it is pressed so that it's all down flat. And I like to dry haircut textured hair because of that, because you can do it all at one time. I'm going to take this into two sections. It's a large section. And take that half and put it back there. I'm going to work on this front section first. And I did test it. See how I'm working it, both hands, both combs. One of the guys that comes by and sells combs has the comb that has a comb on each side that it holds the comb. It's great for holding the hair, for like a pressing comb, flat iron, that sort of thing. Amazing, isn't it? What that heat does for this curly hair. And like I say, we live in a day and time where curly hair can be straight, straight hair can be curly. We have both chemical treatments and electrical treatments that will make them exactly what you want them to be. You want to shape it a little, make it fit the head. Now that's a lot different, and I'm sorry, I meant to take a before picture when it was really curly, but you could see with the section that we did a while ago, you could see with that section how curly it actually was and how nice and smooth this actually comes out. Remembering this side was chemically treated to be straight. This side, right in the middle, was a flat iron, and then this side was the hot comb. Okay, thank you. I know that you can't practice doing this because you don't have the pressing comb, but I am going to put some questions in Blackboard for you to answer about this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.